Hello Year 7 and Year 8, welcome to my first cook-along video. Now it really was annoying me and upsetting me that some of you haven't managed to be able to do any cooking in school yet due to obvious reasons. So I've had a go, or I'm having a go at videoing some cook-alongs for you to have a go at home. Now I appreciate not all of you have the equipment or the ingredients that you're going to need, so do not feel as though you have to do it. Okay, it might be that you can't do it when I suggest that you do it, but if you want to, have a go at it. If not, just watch the video and see how it's done for another time. So one of the things I've done is print out, or have in front of me, I say the instructions. I will make sure there's some instructions sent out to you. I'm actually going to work from the ingredients list, just as a reminder really. Part of the reason that I've chosen the frittata, okay, is a really great dish. What I love about it is it can be quite cost effective, so it can be really affordable. It's really customizable, so you can use meat in it, you can make it vegetarian, we can choose as to what we want to put in there, and whatever we decide is going to probably, we're going to end up with a nice dish. It's also a great way to use up leftovers. So today I've got some butternut squash that I roasted the other day. Some of you hopefully maybe used butternut squash, but they're always huge, and I roasted some for a meal that we had at home. Had some left over, so I thought, oh yeah, that will go perfect in my frittata. Okay, so the first thing to sort of bear in mind really is that you need some supervision from an adult at home. Okay, so what I don't want is people cooking when they're not supervised, and either hurting themselves or damaging the house. We don't want any burnt down houses over lockdown. So please make sure that you're supervised, and if you're not going to supervise, you can always watch the video first, in your own time, and then that might give you the confidence to be able to do it at home when your parents are around. Okay, so first thing that I've done, which I'm not going to show you so much, but is one of the most important things, is what we call mise en place, which is essentially our preparation. Okay, it's a French term. A lot of chef terms are French, and what it means is that we want to be prepared before we start cooking. So what I've done, I'll just switch my visualizer on a second, so that can help you to see what's going on. Okay, so that's on and going. So I've prepared, or got myself ready, all of my ingredients, hopefully, if I've remembered everything. So I've got all my ingredients on a tray. You don't have to have them on a tray, but just put them in somewhere where you can get them easily. You don't have to be going in and out to the fridge, because that's when we tend to get issues. And then also, I've got together some equipment. So I've got myself a jug and a fork. I've got a grater for my cheese. I've got a chopping board. Okay, I'm not putting any meat in my frittata today, so I've just got a wooden chopping board. And I've got my dish that I'm going to cook in. Now, my dish, as you see, is not a huge one. Okay, so this frittata that I've given you will probably feed 2 to 3 people for an evening meal. Maybe if you were having it for lunch, you may be able to squeeze an extra portion out of there. It's really easy though with a frittata. You could just use a bigger dish, double the recipe, okay, and that would be absolutely fine. So if you've got a bigger family and you want to feed more people, double the recipe, and you should be fine with that. Okay. You to see what's going on. Okay, so that's on and going. So I've prepared, or got myself ready, all of my ingredients, hopefully, if I've remembered everything. So I've got all my ingredients on a tray. You don't have to have them on a tray, but just put them in somewhere where you can get them easily. You don't have to be going in and out to the fridge, because that's when we tend to get issues. And then also I've got together some equipment. So I've got myself a jug and a fork. I've got a grater for my cheese. I've got a chopping board. Okay, I'm not putting any meat in my frittata today, so I've just got a wooden chopping board. And I've got my dish that I'm going to cook in. Now, my dish, as you see, is not a huge one. Okay, so this frittata that I've given you will probably feed 2 to 3 people for an evening meal. Maybe if you were having it for lunch, you may be able to just squeeze an extra portion out there. It's really easy though with a frittata. You could just use a bigger dish, double the recipe, okay, and that would be absolutely fine. So if you've got a bigger family and you want to feed more people, double the recipe, and you should be fine with that. Okay, so just make sure I've got everything else that I need. I need my knife, which I've just washed up from another video that I've done. Okay, so I've got my knife here, my sharp knife. And then I think that's everything. I'm ready to start. Now you're probably all thinking, you haven't washed your hands, Mr. Quirt, you haven't washed your hands. So the other thing that I've done, okay, I've put an apron on. You're not all going to have an apron at home. So don't worry if you don't have one. Make sure you've got some clean clothes on. What you don't want to be doing is transferring bacteria to your food. So making sure you've got clean, you're generally clean, your clothes are clean. And I'm going to go and wash my hands. So we should be washing our hands, as we know, for 20 seconds. You have to time me. Hopefully I'll do 20 seconds. I'm going to sing the happy birthday song twice whilst I'm doing it. Okay. So hopefully all 20 seconds or close to. Dry my hands. Now you see I'm using a paper towel, so hopefully in your kitchen at home, like you might have a hand towel, okay, but we don't want to be using a tea towel. Okay, so tea towels, we're going to be drying our clean equipment with those, so we don't want to be wiping our hands on a tea towel and potentially spreading bacteria to those, because then we're going to spread it onto our clean equipment. Right, so we'll make a start. First thing I'm going to do, okay, is take my eggs and crack those in. So the recipe does call for large eggs, okay, 3 large eggs. If you don't have large eggs at home, don't panic about it, okay. Use maybe 4 medium eggs. That would be absolutely fine. So the good thing about a frittata is that, we can be flexible and versatile. Okay. So actually, nearly forgot. So this is a good thing. Cooking is always a crazy one, because you're always thinking of a few different things at a time. So I'm trying to factor in videoing as well, which makes it a bit more tricky. So I'm actually going to measure my milk into my jug first, just because once I've added my eggs in, it just makes it's not essential, but I'm just fine. I'll measure my 100 mils of milk in there first. So make sure it's on a flat surface, and then that's 100, so it's not a lot. 100 mils of milk. Then I'm going to crack my eggs in. Okay. Now, what I always like to do as well is have a bowl for any offcuts of any vegetables. Doesn't matter what bowl it is or container. It's just nice to have somewhere to put so those eggshells, so that I can put those into the bin at a later date. So crack those. Now, a couple of different ways of doing it. We could do it with the back of a knife. Might be one of the easiest ways. So split the egg. You can do it on the surface. We'll bring that in so you can see. So one egg in. second egg. Into my bowl. And third egg. Crack that in. Ooh, let me drop that one. So, okay. So next thing I'm going to do is just beat my eggs. Now, I'm using a fork here. You don't need to use a whisk. Just a fork's really easy. So hopefully you can see that. What I'm looking for is just beating it until I've got one consistent colour. So as you'll see, it doesn't take that long. Beat it. When I've done this in the past in lessons, see people there standing there beating their eggs for ages, and just we're not trying to whisk this. Just trying to mix them together. Okay, so we've got one consistent colour. Leave the fork in there for the time being. I might mix some more bits in. Right, I'm just going to wash my hands, cracking the eggs. Got a little bit of egg on my fingers, so I'm just going to wash my hands again. Okay, so hands washed. Eggs can go out the way. Right, next thing. So I've got my strong cheese. So I'm going to use some cheddar for this. Okay, I've done all my shopping for this in Lidl's. Actually, eggs were from Waitrose, but you can source it all from Lidl's, which maybe make it slightly cheaper. You might want to use local ingredients. So if you maybe have your own eggs, or you know somebody who does. Okay, let's do that more sensibly. Let's open that with a pair of scissors. I mean, I've seen some accidents where people have tried to cut packages open. So I've got some scissors there. Take the top off my cheese, open that up. So 50 grams. So, I mean, we don't need to be that accurate here. I mean, I feel like I can have a fairly good rough guess at 50 grams. So I'm just going to cut down through there. That's going to be roughly 50 grams, give or take. I'm not worried if it's a little bit more. If you want to weigh that out. But just for the speed of you being able to watch that, cheese there, and then knife can go off. I've got my grater. So grating, going to grate my cheese. So the graters, I mean, one of the things I see them state with grater is they only cut in a downwards motion. So see a lot of people who are just rubbing it up and down like this. Okay, you're not going to be cutting on the upward motion. All you're doing is warming the cheese up and actually making it more difficult to grate. So downwards motion. Keep your hands flat. Do that as quickly as I can. Okay, I've dropped a bit there. So hand flat now so that I don't grate my finger. Just take those last lumps and then pick up these. Hands flat. There we go. I've got a few little crumbs there. That's not a problem. I can use those. Right. So all done with the grater. Put that to one side. I'll wash all that up in a minute. Okay, so if I look at my instructions here again, I've got strong cheese, feta. I could use some ham or some chicken, whatever it might be, some bacon. And I've also got some vegetables. So I'm going to take my dish now and take my dish here. And I'm going to add in my butternut squash. Let's see how much to put in. Get a nice spread. Probably going to leave a little bit just because I don't want it to. My worry is that I won't fit it all in. So just give those a move around, make sure they're nice and evenly covered along the bottom. And then I'm going to go in, I'm going to put some sweet corn in. So this is already pre-cooked, so it could be tinned. I just boiled this earlier. Okay, my butternut squash is already cooked. You could be using some pre-cooked potatoes. It gives you lots of suggestions on your sheet, so it's really up to you what you like. Okay, make sure you're picking things that you like. So sweet corn, I'm going to be a bit careful with the sweet corn because having quite a high water content, I've found in the past that it can affect how well the eggs will set in a frittata. Okay, and then I can sprinkle my cheese in, quite a bit of cheese. Okay, so a little bit more, and I'm going to put a little bit of pepper in. Now at this point here, I possibly add in some mixed herbs or some herbs in. If you've got any dried herbs that you want to put in there, or maybe some chili flakes, a little bit of salt, not a lot, just a pinch of salt. And then I'm going to pour my egg mixture. Move my knife up. Pour my egg mixture into my dish. Okay, so spreading that out. Lovely. Got it all. Okay. I've got a little bit of cheese left. I mean, for me, that probably looks enough. So that probably my lack of judgment there is probably just over 50 grams. I was going to thinking about using some feta, but I don't want to make it too cheesy. So I'm going to go in with that. That's it. That's my frittata done, and I'm going to bake that in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes on at 180 degrees. I'll check it after 15-20 minutes. I'll give you a bit of an update, but make sure your oven is preheated. So I should have said that at the start. This goes to show failings there. So this is where practice of the recording is going to come into play. So preheat the oven first. That's really important that your oven is hot. Otherwise, when you put it in, if the oven's going to take 5-10 minutes to warm up, okay, then it's not going to be hot. It's going to affect your cooking time. I mean, with a frittata, probably still would cook okay, but with things like cakes, having it preheated is really important. Okay, so I'll see you in a minute. See that a little bit clearer. So lovely and golden. As you can see there, looks really good. Smells great as well. So I'll probably serve that with some maybe some sweet potato wedges or some just normal potato wedges. Yeah, probably better cooked fresh, but could be reheated. So you can reheat in the microwave, but probably best cooked fresh and eaten straight away. Probably could be eaten cold as well, actually, with a salad or some wedges there. Even could be served with chips as well. So that is the frittata. Nice, quick, affordable meal, which can be, adjusted to any of your specific dietary requirements. So it's a really, really great one. So there's a massive thumbs up for frittata.